Welcome to KMS Apartment Property Management Software. Here is explainer video. Take a look.
Okay, so if you live in, or maybe you're responsible for, one of those big residential complexes, you know exactly what we're talking about. Modern community living. It can be a real logistical challenge, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's this constant juggling act. Security, money, who's talking to whom or not talking. And then, the inevitable middle-of-the-night plumbing emergency.
It feels like chaos, basically, especially if you're trying to manage it all manually, spreadsheets and phone calls. So today, we're going to try and cut through some of that. We're doing a deep dive into the source material we found describing the KMS Apartment Management Software. It's pitched as a specific fix for automating, taming this whole administrative beast.
Now, what the sources show us is it's positioned as more than just, a few tools thrown together. It's framed as this complete, all-in-one platform.
An ecosystem, almost.
Exactly. A digital solution aimed at simplifying those day-to-day operations, the ones that take up so much time. The goal seems to be lifting that burden for everyone, admins, owners, residents too, making things run smoother.
Okay, let's get into that. Before we jump into the features, the actual what it does, maybe we should mention who's behind it.
Sure.
The software comes from KMS. They're based in Hyderabad. And for anyone interested, we'll put all the contact info, address, phone numbers, all that in the show notes.
Good idea. But the interesting part, I think, starts with the why. Forget the feature list for a second. What's the core promise here? What's in it for you, the person stuck managing this complex structure?
Right. And the developers, they lead with 4 main points in their why choose us bit. They're pretty foundational. First, saving time through automation. That's standard stuff for software.
Table stakes, really.
But then they hit improved security, better transparency, and crucially streamlined communication between everyone, residents, owners, admins.
And it's that combination, isn't it? Security, transparency, communication. That suggests something a bit more thought out than just, a fancy database.
It does.
Yeah. And the way the platform reportedly delivers on that, it's interesting. The sources really push this idea of complete financial transparency, plus efficient management across the board.
Efficient meaning?
Well, they stress it's highly customizable. So you can potentially manage multiple properties, different apartment buildings, maybe some commercial units, all under one system.
Okay, adaptable. But let's push back a bit. There's this great phrase they use, the sources mention it. The software helps you control whole apartment in your hand at a glance.
Yeah, I saw that. Catchy.
It is catchy, but it sets a really high bar for usability, doesn't it? I mean, realistically, is a new property manager going to pick this up instantly? Or is there a steep learning curve the brochures conveniently forget to mention?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The documentation doesn't really detail the onboarding process, no. But you have to assume for that at-a-glance promise to mean anything, the interface must be pretty intuitive.
Or the promise is just marketing fluff.
Well, possibly. But if it works, it suggests the important information is surfaced immediately. You're not digging through menus for buried data. It's less about archiving information, more about delivering, actionable intelligence right now.
Actionable intelligence. I like that. Okay, so to deliver that, you need really detailed control over everything happening in the community. So let's move on to the tools themselves. How do they break down this management complexity, starting with, the people living there?
Yeah, they seem to approach it logically. Build the foundation first. So owner management is layer 1, keeping track of owner details, unit info, setting up ways to send them notifications easily.
Okay, basic records.
But the real headaches, administratively speaking, often start when you get renters involved.
Ah, yes. So tenant management becomes a really key category here. It's not just who lives in Unit 3B. It's about compliance, right?
Yeah.
Tracking leases, move-in, move-out dates.
Exactly. And the sources mention tracking that history is important, plus making sure communication between the tenant and the owner is documented, keeping it hassle-free is the term they use.
Just tracking move-in, move-out history digitally, that alone sounds like a huge win. Think about the scramble every year, updating security lists, canceling old key cards, programming new fobs.
Oh, totally. Automating that could cut down on so many small, annoying errors, the kind that lead to security gaps or just really angry residents locked out of the pool.
Right. Okay, so people are sorted, in theory. What's the next big logistical hurdle? Usually in any big community, it's cars and strangers.
Yes, cars and strangers. So parking management is listed, and the description suggests it's more than just assigning spot numbers. It's meant to help monitor which spots are actually used, resolve disputes.
Which always happen.
Always.
Yeah.
And generally keep the whole parking area organized. It's just parking from just being a list to being an actively managed resource.
Okay. And then the strangers part, visitor management. This is where that security promise gets tested.
Mm-hmm. The system's supposed to boost security with digital visitor logs, tracking entry and exit times, and crucially, sending real-time notifications to residents when their guest actually shows up.
So the guard gets reliable data, the resident gets confirmation. Less, is my delivery here yet? Calls to the front desk.
Exactly. Peace of mind and efficiency.
Yeah.
But maybe the biggest, most expensive long-term headache is the building itself. Things breaking.
Yes. Maintenance.
So the maintenance management feature is critical. And this is where we see a potential shift from just reacting to problems to being proactive. It covers logging service requests, tracking work status, standard stuff.
Good.
But the key phrase we pulled out from the source material was scheduling preventive maintenance.
Okay, that is a big deal. Reactive maintenance, fixing the burst pipe, the flooded basement, always chaos, unexpected costs.
Yep. Whereas preventive maintenance, scheduling the yearly HVAC check, the roof inspection that's planned, you can budget for it. It reduces those catastrophic failures.
Does the source material hint at how the software helps forecast those costs? Because that's key for budgeting.
It seems to tie directly into the financial module. By keeping a digital history of all maintenance, scheduled and unscheduled, the system can help the board or the managers predict future needs better, plan the reserve fund, adjust fees if necessary.
Which leads us nicely into the money side of things.
Indeed. Any community runs on its finances. And the promise here is complete financial transparency, often the touchiest subject in any residents association meeting.
Absolutely. So the accounts and financial management feature is supposed to automate billing, track those maintenance fees we talked about, handle utility payments, record other expenses, basically the whole ledger.
The question I have, though, sometimes doesn't more financial transparency actually lead to more arguments? People scrutinizing every line item. How does the software design help with that political side?
That's a fair point. The approach here seems to be focused on, well, immutability, audit trails. By automating the recording, and especially with the feature for other expenses tracking budgets, fund usage, the data becomes the objective source. The admin can point to the system record, not just a handwritten note or potentially biased spreadsheet. It's about enabling data-driven decisions, taking some of the personal opinion out of it.
So the platform sounds pretty comprehensive. People, security, operations, finance. But to make it all work without chaos, you absolutely need to control who sees what.
Right. Which brings us to how access is structured. And this is really interesting. They use a tiered 5-step dashboard system. It gives us a clear insight into how they think about roles within a community.
It really defines the permissions. 5 distinct roles, all accessing the same cloud system, but seeing different views, different data.
Okay, lay them out for us.
So right at the top, logically, you have the super admin dashboard. Then just below that, the admin dashboard. The source description for the admin is simply can control all.
Control all. That's a bit vague. What's the difference between super admin and admin then?
Well, the source doesn't explicitly state it, but based on how enterprise software usually works, my guess. The super admin probably handles the system setup itself, like configuring the whole platform, setting up user roles initially, maybe global settings.
Like the meta-level control.
Exactly. Whereas the regular admin handles the day-to-day operations for a specific property within that system, approving visitors, generating reports, sending out community notices. It separates platform management from property management.
That makes sense, especially if you're managing multiple properties. Okay, who's next down the ladder? Tier 3 is the property owner level, the apartment owner dashboard. This lets an owner monitor their specific unit, keep an eye on their tenant's activity if they have one, and see general building info. Oversight without getting bogged down in managing the whole place.
Got it. So they see their slice, but not the whole pie.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then Tier 4 is the employee dashboard. Think security guards, maintenance staff, the boots on the ground. They can check building activity.
Meaning they get the info they need for their job. Like confirming a maintenance schedule, checking if a visitor is expected, but without access to sensitive financial data or owner information, task-specific access.
Smart. And finally, the end user, the resident, the tenant dashboard. And the self-service aspect here seems pretty significant. Tenants can log in to submit complaints or maintenance requests, view their own rent payment history, things like that. Okay, that closes the loop. Instead of calling the admin for every little thing, they log a ticket directly.
Right. It potentially filters out a lot of noise and creates a documented trail for requests.
You know, as an owner or admin, that tenant feature, letting them log complaints themselves, that alone sounds like it could drastically cut down on those annoying late-night calls.
Could do, yeah. And the documentation generally emphasizes the user experience across all these dashboards. It's described as user-friendly, smooth, fully functional, the usual positive descriptors.
Well, user-friendly is often in the eye of the beholder, but it's good they're aiming for it.
And that aim for a smooth experience seems supported by the tech foundation. We don't need to get lost in the weeds of the specific coding languages, PHP, MySQL, JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax. That's for the developers.
Right.
But what's important for you, the potential user, is that it's built on standard, established web technologies.
Which usually translates to better reliability, right? And compatibility.
Hopefully. And the source explicitly mentions it's a fully responsive application.
Ah, that is crucial today. Meaning it should work properly on any device. Desktop, tablet, phone.
Exactly. The admin at their desk, the maintenance person with a tablet, the guard at the gate using a phone. Everyone should get a consistent, usable interface. That's the idea anyway.
Okay. We also got a little peek at their visual identity, something about a logo.
Yeah, just a brief mention. The sources point to a logo file. It's described as a stylized image. 3 figures, 1 in the middle with arms up, 2 on the sides looking active, maybe jumping. And they're positioned above what looks like an open book or scroll, and it has KMS written on it.
That's quite symbolic, isn't it? Like the people, the community, the figures are supported by knowledge, data, the system, the book with KMS.
Yeah, it's a nice metaphor. Connects the tech back to the community it's supposed to serve.
So, okay, we've covered a lot of ground. If we boil it down, what have we learned about this KMS software ecosystem?
Well, it seems to offer pretty comprehensive control, touching on almost every part of property operations, security, finance, communication, maintenance.
And its real standout feature might be that tiered 5-step access system. That seems like a smart way to map the complex real-world roles onto a digital platform that can scale.
I agree. It mirrors the natural hierarchy you find in managing these communities.
Yeah.
Now, connecting this back to you, the listener, there's one really important piece of advice, a condition really, mentioned right in the source material.
Okay, what's that? The providers are very clear. You must read or view the terms and conditions before you buy the software. The fine print, always important.
Always. They say it's available on the Kitty's Microsolutions website or their YouTube channel. Basically, do your homework, especially when you're integrating software that handles finance and critical operations. Due diligence is key.
Absolutely. Which actually raises a final thought for you to consider listening to this. If this software really is as flexible as claimed, if it handles all apartment calculations and operations, where does the experienced human manager still fit in? With such a powerful automated system, what kind of weird, unexpected situations or maybe really nuanced community disputes might still require that human touch, that experienced manager stepping in where the automation just hits a wall?
That's the constant balancing act, isn't it, between the efficiency of automation and the necessity of human judgment and oversight, something every administrator has to think about.
Indeed. Something to ponder. That was the deep
Thank
dive.
you for watching this video. If you like this, please follow, like, share, and subscribe.